All right, we're on.
All right.
Hi, Therese. Thank you so much for being with me on this new episode of Elopement Explore podcast. Before I dive right into your elopement details and everything you chose to do, can you just introduce yourselves and tell us why you eloped?
Go ahead.
I'm Corrina.
And I'm Stephan. And we chose to elope because...
Well, there were many reasons, I'd say. I think the thing from my perspective was that we wanted something really unique. We wanted something that was that matched kind of our perspectives. We love traveling. Stephan always wanted to go to Iceland. That was a dream for him. And I think from my perspective, combining the dream of your dream trip with our dream life moment, I guess, felt fitting.
Yeah. And I think a traditional wedding wasn't really something that we wanted to do at the end of the day. I always expressed to Corrina, I never really wanted to be that guy to pick what color dining table we wanted and what flowers and things like that. So being able to travel and have an adventure and get married all at the same time was incredible. That's what we wanted. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you eloped back in October of last year, so 2024 in Iceland. It was kind of a bucket list country for you guys, right? It was kind of you had to go there, and you went back after in May.
7 months later, yeah.
And we can see the beautiful shots that you took on your travels behind you.
Yeah. In fact, we want to go back again. So
okay, so
yeah,
it became kind of a tradition for you guys to go to Iceland. It's your favorite country. That's exciting. And can you tell us how you started planning your elopement and kind of what was the first thing that you booked or decided on, apart from the country, obviously?
Well, we got engaged when we were already traveling. So I proposed to Stephan actually in Paris, which was awesome. And I guess just to kind of keep it going, we knew we wanted to do it somewhere. So I started kind of just scrolling on Instagram, looking at different people and places and how might you go about doing that. And in that process, I also got accepted into a master's program for school. And so then we were how are we going to plan all that, do all that, navigate all of the intricacies of trying to elope in a different country and planning it all. And so that's when we found you I found you through Instagram, and I shared your profile with Stephan, and he was this is the person for sure. And then we booked a call with you, and as soon as we started chatting with you, we were yeah, this is what we want to do.
What made it easy to pick you was that you were planning everything from the beginning to end, and all we had to do was just show up. Yeah. So that was the perfect choice for me, at least, and not for us. Yeah.
I mean, now you're an Iceland expert and you can do whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you saying we stole your itinerary because I had recreated our own version of what you had done.
Yeah, I mean,
but
that makes
perfect. It made the most sense. Everything was time-based, where we were supposed to be at what time, the date, everything. Yeah. So
I'm a little bit crazy with timelines, but it's to the minute.
Yeah.
It's helpful, right?
Yeah, it kind of helps you not miss the most important parts, like the sunset, stuff like that. Because you don't want to miss that. That would be bad. So were there any fears or doubts that you had before committing to the elopement route?
With you specifically, or you just me in general?
In general, I would say more.
I think it was more the family aspect of things, not having them included. I think that's expected with any elopement, really, though. I don't know.
I mean, I think I could see how it could depend on the folks. I think we were a little surprised by some folks' reactions. Like in particular, I think some of my family I thought would be like very supportive of an elopement, and not that they weren't. I think just like initially, a lot of folks have a lot of assumptions about what it means once people are engaged and what that will look like, and have like a really traditional sort of perspective on it. And so I think a lot of folks were really just like disappointed that they weren't going to be involved or as involved or have this like big celebration in a way that felt inclusive of them. And so, you know, Stephan and I did spend like quite a bit of time speaking with people about like how it wasn't a personal thing against folks, and rather that it was just, this was the best way for us to celebrate what we wanted as a couple for our life together and our love. And not that that doesn't mean that those folks are not important, because of course we love them all dearly. But rather that like, if we were going to end up doing a big wedding and like all the costs associated with that, like to us, it was like a way more effective use of our time, and actually way more what we wanted to spend our money on. So, or even just like our time and our vision. Like I'm never going to have, you know, I know altars can be beautiful with like flowers and whatever, but like Stocksness's beach is just, I don't know, like nothing beats that in my mind. So, so it was a bit hard at the beginning in that way. Dealing with the disappointment of others is kind of what I'd say.
Okay.
I think that, that's the gist of it, really.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I know how you choose your location. I mean, no, how did you choose the location? Like from the list that I saw. So Iceland, okay, it was on your bucket list, but like, why did you choose Stocksness, and how did you choose your date as well? 2 questions in one.
Yeah.
Well,
you start the first one.
Well, Stocksness, I don't think was really our choosing, because I had dreamed about Iceland from well before. And I always had a fascination with Reynisfjara Beach. Like I just wanted to see the black sand beach. But I think it was you who had told us like, it's nice, but there's a lot of people and you might not like it as much. So I have a suggestion, and let's go to Stocksness instead. And I had no idea what that was. And we were just going based off of like the one photo you had attached to our itinerary, and we're like, oh, that looks cool. Like, let's go for it, kind of thing. At least that's what I remember. Yeah.
And it was epic. And then we were like just watching videos on YouTube of people who did travel, which we realized not as many people maybe make it that far in Iceland for all sorts of reasons. And we were like, yeah, having something that wasn't feeling quote unquote touristy was really, really important to us. Like we were like, I don't want to have like a million people looking at us, hence why we're eloping. And then dates, there was like a few different pieces. One, we knew that like Iceland is like a very expensive location, like comparative to maybe some other places in the world you could choose. So there was like, we know that it was shoulder season, less people visiting. So then also for shots where we did still want to go, like we did still go to Reynisfjara and like places that were really important. There would just maybe be less people, not no people. And then we actually got engaged in October when we were in Paris. So then we were trying to just like make the dates happen as close together so that we don't have all these different dates that we think of in our calendar.
I'm pretty sure it was just one day apart, really.
Yeah, we got engaged on the 7th of October, 2021, and then we got married on the 6th. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like Reynisfjara is, I mean, it's a beautiful beach, don't get me wrong, but first of all, it gets very dangerous and super touristy. Like all the buses go there. Stocksness, no, it's off the beaten path. Nobody goes like past Hof. Even Hofen is like, wow, that's so far. So yeah, it was kind of, it's one of my favorite beaches for sure in Iceland. You chose well.
Well, you helped us, so
that was my role. And so can you walk us through what your elopement day looked like?
Yeah. Well, I know I didn't sleep very well the night before, mostly because I was so excited.
I mean, I think I was up till like 2, maybe 3 in the morning editing photos I had taken prior to meeting you at the hotel. And you were like, you should probably go to bed because you don't want to look tired for the photos. And I was like, I have to get this done. I have to post this on Instagram. Everyone needs to know. But I think we were both like so excited. Like we weren't nervous or anything by any means. It was just like, wow, we're actually here. This is really happening. And then we woke up and then we got ready and then we met you for the first time.
Right.
Well, I was getting my hair and makeup done at that point.
Oh yeah,
Booze Run was amazing, and I know like I was a little bit ahead of time when I was emailing you before we met in person. Like I would say, like I feel so grateful that even you just like were willing to email me and tell me like this is going to be the person, because like I have like skin issues, so I really was like not wanting to like inflame that, knowing that we were going to be together for some time. So like I feel like Gudrun was like perfect, and she was excellent. She was amazing at all that. And then like you got ready, and then I got ready, and
then I was told to disappear.
Yeah.
I was told, go hang out in the lobby. We'll meet you up later.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there in my suit and whatnot. Everyone was looking at me in the hotel and being like, what's going on? Like, why is this guy all dressed up? And I think I was messaging friends being like, yeah, man, today's the day. Like, I'm getting married. And next thing you know, you came and you're like, okay, I'm here. Corrina's around the corner. She's going to come and tap you on the shoulder and then just do your thing. And then as soon as you tap me on the shoulder, literally just a fountain of tears.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah. And Marine too. Marine was like such an important part as well. Like I know like obviously she's not in this call, but like she was awesome as well and all of that too. And she was so like helpful and excited, and like I know she like held our coats probably hundreds of times. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that.
She had never even done any hiking like that ever. So she was a trooper for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and like that's kind of like how it started, and then I feel like it felt like a whirlwind of a day because we went so far so quickly, right? Like we went to like Jökulsárlón, we went to like, and I remember we were like just like pulling over at the side of the roads, obviously not breaking any Icelandic rules around off-roading or anything like that. We were pulling off in appropriate spaces, you know. And then it was like, the further we went, because it was like I remember how new everything was, and it was so exciting. It was like quite literally, it felt like if you loved roller coaster rides and you like an adrenaline rush, it felt like that the entire time of just like pure euphoria for me. Anyway, I was like, I couldn't stop smiling. You're like, you don't have to smile all the time, and I'm like, I just can't stop smiling.
But yeah.
And we kept driving, and then we went to the beach, and you had your horse ceremony. It was around sunset, right? After that, we went for like sunset photos on different rocks. It was really amazing. Yeah. And we went. Did we go to the Viking village?
We did. Remember the horse?
Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh,
that was even to this day. I like can't fathom how that really happened, like because you wanted to see an Icelandic horse like since we landed. And it just happened to be like, oh hey, I'm here, like come to say hi.
That was like definitely my dad for sure visiting us in like
that was incredible. It was like a not of this world experience for sure.
Actually, I'm like so far away, and then like I was just like, you're gonna come visit, like come here. Come see us.
That was incredible for sure. Very surprising. And so during the whole day, do you have something that is your favorite part apart from your ceremony, obviously, which was super windy? We never talked about that, but it was crazy windy. I remember that Marine was actually crying at one point. It was like
it was so windy. I mean, I remember like the amount of like black sand that was like it looks like I had like every pore had just black sand in it. Like I just had freckles. But it was the black sand, which was fine. But I would say like, I don't know if I have like a favorite moment, because I think about this all the time when I look at our photos. I'm like, oh, but I loved this and I loved that.
Every moment was incredible. Like,
yeah,
that there wasn't, I don't know, there wasn't one better than the other. It was just all just.
Yeah. And I mean, I say to you all the time, I'm like, I wish we could just like do it again. Like, not because like we want to get married again or any of those things, but like relive it happening again. Like,
well, she always jokes around and says maybe like in 10 years or so we'll hire you again and we'll do it all over again and renew our vows and whatnot.
It was just so much fun. And it was perfect.
Yeah. I think it really did hit me though, like at the ceremony, realizing like, wow, like for me, because I've always wanted to go for so many years, like it hit me and I was like, wow, like I'm actually here, like we're doing this. It was just, I don't know, it was just epic. Epic is like the word, I would say.
Epic, extraordinary, amazing. Like, it sounds so cliche, but it just really was. Yeah. And I just think Iceland is such a stunning place. It's hard to, it's like every time you like turn a corner and there's just like a random mountain and you're like, this is the most beautiful mountain I've ever seen. And you drive like 30 seconds later and then you're like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful mountain I've ever seen. We
did that literally the entire trip the second time we went around, because we had went past Stocksness, right? So as soon as we had gone through the tunnel, we were like, oh my, like there's even more.
And then doing it while we're getting married in like, and I'll be honest, like I had a lot of like apprehension about like how comfortable am I going to be in this like big like white dress, obviously standing out, hiking, doing all these sorts of things. Like I was like, and it just felt like natural, which is a weird thing to say, but it felt like, yes, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Like, of course I'm wearing a white dress hiking to a canyon with a glacier.
That's one thing I have to say to anyone that's listening to this who thinks about wearing a tailored suit. Do not tailor your pants too tight.
Yeah.
Because as good as it looked, I wouldn't do it again. No.
And hiking boots.
Yeah, definitely hiking boots. Yeah.
Always. I mean, I wore hiking boots the entire time. I was a bit cold. But I did really think about the weather when I picked my dress, like long sleeves. I made sure even in the tailoring process that I could hike it up and walk. I had thermal stuff on. But nice, lots of hand warmers is helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hand warmers, feet warmers, body warmers, everything warmers. Yeah.
And the only thing, again, like maybe I would have bought a white coat, but I still even like, I look at our photos where I'm wearing like my regular winter coat that I wear here in Canada. And I'm like, I don't know, it just feels.
I'm really glad we opted to wear our get-ups all 3 days that we were with you too. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you said not very many couples did that, but like for me, it's like we got to basically get married 3 days. Essentially, it was like a 3-day celebration of it. Yeah. Yeah.
We had fun.
So much fun. That's not even the word, but yeah. Yeah.
And so were there moments that really surprised you or like stood out emotionally? Once again, apart from the ceremony, because that's kind of off the chart.
I think about the last day. I remember like when you guys were leaving, like genuinely like feeling sad. Like genuinely being like, and it's funny because I can almost feel it when I look at the photos.
Yeah.
Like I can see it in those like last moments that were like you and I were like, oh, like it was so beautiful, but it was ending.
It hit me because I remember specifically asking you like, oh, we're gonna see you at dinner, right? And you're like, no, that's it, I'm leaving. And I'm like,
yeah.
What do you mean? You're not allowed to leave. Like you have to stay with us for the rest of the trip. And you're like, no, I have to go. Like, yeah, that was
sad.
It was, yeah.
But it was like a bittersweet, and I feel like the sky reflected that. Like the sunset at Dirle, like it looked like that, and like you're just like on this like cliff edge and all these sorts of things. So I loved that one. I also think the turf houses.
Oh yeah. Oh, these were so cool. Yeah.
They were so cute, and like nobody was there.
Yeah.
And it felt like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
I liked that too. I'm trying to think what else. There were so many good moments. Like, I mean, the Otto, if you're ever in Hoffen, I know people go to like Pakus, which is like the restaurant like literally across the street, but like Otto is where it's at, in my opinion. I mean, we are vegetarian, which I think is like also important to kind of acknowledge that. But wow, that was like one of the best dinners I've ever had. In fact, we went back a second time. We were just like, this is so good. Like, we can't not eat here. And it's so local, and it's like, I don't know, it feels like you're eating in somebody's home, but the quality of the food was like Michelin star, in my opinion. So
but food is so important.
Oh yeah,
I actually believe that. Yeah,
we're foodies, so
all I can ever think about is Smidgen in Vic.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like the spot that just hits every time.
Yeah, we do say that we wish that was here, but yeah.
Yes, I understand that. I mean, we got the obviously we got the burgers. Oh, maybe not. Well, we got the pepper thing.
Yeah.
How it's called again? Sorry, I can't remember that.
Like jalapeno.
Oh, jalapeno peppers. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good. And their beer is really good too. If you're a drinker, but like, and they have a vegan burger. So like, I just feel like there's something there for everyone. But and it's not like, no shade at all the like tourist places, which are still good, because I still think, as much as people think food in Iceland is not good, I actually think, to me, the quality of food in Iceland is very good. Like, I have definitely had worse food in my life, and I thought they had very high quality options, always like options for dietary. And if they don't, like they like say that off the bat, but even like tiny little like nowhere places, and by nowhere I mean you would drive past them on the side of the road and not even know they exist, like had vegetarian options. Like, I think of Gamla restaurant, which is like a beef restaurant.
Yeah,
they have vegetarian options. So, and their food was good. It was really, really good. So I don't know. That was also really happy.
And the coffee.
Oh yeah, coffee.
Always coffee.
Always coffee.
Always coffee. Yeah, the food in Iceland is surprisingly good. Just like you said, so the very first time, it was like back, I don't know how many years ago, that was in Iceland. I was expecting something like Scotland. So no shade for Scotland, because that's one of my favorite places in the whole world for sure. But their food is not worldly renowned for sure, and I was kind of expecting that from Iceland. But then I tried the lamb, and I tried the beef, and I tried the cod, and I tried all the food, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, they definitely know how to cook. And the butter, like the whipped butter,
they threw out my butter.
The what? No,
they threw out my butter when I came back to Canada, and I almost cried.
Yeah,
I was like, I bought these massive tubs of butter, and I like had them, and they were like, you can't bring that in because you couldn't anyway.
Well, they said you couldn't bring dairy, but they let us in with the cheese, but not the butter.
Okay.
I nearly cried though when he threw in my butter.
He's like, is it okay? And it's like, no, but you got to do what you got to do.
Listen, I'm going to eat 2 tubs of butter right now.
Yeah.
I was so sad. And he said he thought it was dumb too anyway, but probably didn't say that. But all this to say, like, their dairy products are really good there. They have very good dairy.
So, like, apart from the butter, were there any hiccups or like unexpected moments?
Hiccups or unexpected moments. I feel like we were really fortunate because I know you've said this, and even I feel like it happened when we went back again in May.
So,
but like weather, I know they say like expect
yeah.
all the seasons in the day in Iceland. And although we maybe had like one day that I can think of that when we went back the second time, the first week we were there was literally like, I don't even think it rained.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. I can't remember if it
we got super lucky with the weather.
Yeah.
During our elopement, for sure.
So that's like the one thing, like I said, could have happened but didn't. And I really don't think there was anything that went amiss, like in our experience. Like hotels were perfect, food was perfect, like everything went without fail. Like I love Blue Car rental. I always tell people whenever they're going, if you're gonna rent a car anywhere, do Blue Car. It was just like seamless. Like even everything that we got beforehand, like when you sent us like our actual, like our itinerary in like a beautiful bound book, which we still have and we keep around, like everything was seamless. Like there was not anything that didn't go according to plan. I think you and I are fairly open to also like if things don't look exactly the way that they are supposed to be on paper or whatever, like we're pretty flexible that way. But no, everything went like exactly perfect. Yeah.
I think the only thing I underestimated was like the amount of hiking we got ourselves into.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll admit I was out of shape at that point in time. So I think by the third day I was like, oh my, like my legs are killing me. But again, that was our choice. That's what we wanted to do. So
yeah, I wanted for sure. I was like, I want to do some epic hikes. Yeah.
So that was the only thing. Like if you want to do all this hiking and trekking and whatnot, just be prepared. Like it's not always just a paved path.
No, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And if you're not wearing tight pants and you wear hiking boots, easy. And as somebody who did it all in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So well.
It's fine.
I think that was it, really. Everything went great. Yeah.
It was perfect.
So my next question was like, is there anything you would do differently if you could do it again?
Do it differently. No,
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think the other thing too is that like we also booked you like well in advance. Like I know like maybe people like book, like they get engaged and then they book to get married within a year. But like we booked you in 2022, so like over 2 years in advance. And that was partly just like timeline because I knew I was going back to school and all those sorts of pieces. But yeah, I think we just like had a really long time knowing just like knowing that this was exactly what we wanted to do and like having been really thoughtful and intentional. And I think you guiding us even through the process of creating the itinerary, like you took into everything that we said, we're like, we want to do Black Sand Beach. We'd love to see like glaciers or like, you know, volcanoes. None was active at the time, although very active before and after, which is fine. We'll get there one day. Yeah. Earth does what they do. It does. But everything was like perfect. Like hotels were amazing, so clean, lovely accommodations in like perfect little settings. Like I can't think of a single complaint. In fact, if people ever ask me, they're like, oh, like how did you do it? I'm like, Amber, she's amazing. Instagram, like if you're thinking about doing it, here you go. Like even our friends who were getting married and they've just gone the traditional route, like when they were thinking about it, like I sent them to you and you know, and for all sorts of reasons they've chosen something different, but like I'm always talking you up because I'm like,
oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, I can't think of anything I'd change.
No.
And so is there something you're very, very glad you did?
All of it, but I'm glad we did go further and like did a lot of driving because like I think it could be very easy that people might say like you know, I want to do the golden circle, or like I want to do like certain things. And I know like we have the privilege, like obviously as Canadians, like flying to Iceland is not the most expensive flight and not the longest of flights and not the most jet lag. Like it's pretty easy for us, or like reasonable to consider going back again. But I'm glad that we didn't do, you know, the classic first time to Iceland locations. We did some of them, not all of them weren't. Like, I mean, we saw Skogafoss, we saw Seljalandsfoss, we did all those things, but I'm glad that we did some things that were off the beaten path, because I think that's where we realized, even when we considered going back, we're like, we want to do more of that, because I think that's real Iceland, and that really matches, I think, what we think about ourselves and our adventurous like nature of our relationship.
For sure.
That's just me.
You speak for both of us.
Depends, like, yeah. Exactly.
Go along with the flow. It's gonna be cool. So.
So do you have any like logistical tips that you would give to couples regarding like packing, timeline, vendors? Like, even though like you guys had the 7-day package, so like you said, I kind of took care of everything. Do you have any tips for that?
Well,
this is all you.
Yeah, I mean, I love planning travel. Like, I think it's like one of my favorite things to do. If somehow I could get out of my current career and into that would be really cool. I think like looking in advance is like super important. So if folks are like ever taking on some of those tasks like on their own, I think like getting down to like knowing where you want to go. Like there's tons of like YouTube videos on YouTube, obviously, that you can watch about like other people's itineraries. But once you find the locations, then like I really encourage like booking accommodations in advance, because usually you can get some pretty good deals. Flights, I mean, I'm like the classic, I know it sucks, like Black Friday is not really something that is Canadian, it's American, but like Black Friday deals for flights, accommodations, like we did a bunch of that. I loved using like Foss hotels. I think that they're fantastic. A recommendation, I know like they have a sticker price that's higher than sometimes other places when you're staying for accommodations in Iceland, but I think the including of your breakfast makes a huge deal, because food prices are probably for other folks like in different countries likely very expensive, and eating out in Iceland is very expensive. I'll always no questions asked, that's expensive for sure. So like those would be like practical tips of like what I looked for when we went back.
Shout out Coho.
Oh yeah, Coho is great for Canadians, because we have, anyway, lots of Canadian banks will charge like all these like extraordinary fees for trying to use your like credit card or debit card abroad. But Coho was like fantastic for us the second time, and the card that you gave us the first time was really, really helpful, because it did like that like sort of preloaded live, you know, paying the difference of like whatever currency is loaded on the card, and Coho does that for Canadians, so I definitely recommend that. Paying for the upgraded insurance package on your rental car, I think, is super important, because again, like, I don't know if you've seen what's happening in East Iceland right now, is like the roads are flooded and you can't go. So yeah, I definitely think those are like practical costs and things that I would change. And then I would just say, like, you can always pack less than you think.
Yeah,
as people who pack a lot, both him and I. Pack for all seasons, but layers, and like wool, really good wool hiking socks, really good like hiking boots. And if you have like a good outer waterproof shell, I know like that's like really different when you're trying to think about wearing something for like a wedding, but even just having that to cover after, in between, to like really cut the wind. And if it is like, you know, getting all the seasons at once, like it does make a really big difference.
This is all to say, if you're going to Iceland, obviously, if you're going to other countries,
but we don't know that process. And Yeah, and then like I would just say like work with like as a bride, like I would say like knowing what you want to do with your hair, like trying to do things that are gonna be holding up in the wind is really important because my hair sure did, and it was wild that wind.
Yeah.
And then I think just being like knowing that whatever hiccups occur are like really meant to be there and it makes it beautiful. I think things, as I say, like it's perfect. And I'm sure if I really tried to scrub my mind or like watched a video, I'd be like, oh, past me wouldn't have wanted that to happen. But like really everything just happens for a reason. The beautiful weather, finding a random tree at the side of the road.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right? All of those things, they happen for a reason, and it makes it the beautiful story that it is. I don't know.
That's gorgeous. I love that. Yeah, for sure you can't elope and be absolutely like crazy about how things are gonna happen and what's gonna look like, and because like it's not a traditional wedding, and the weather is gonna do its own thing. Wildlife is gonna do its own thing, and it's gonna be roads can close and passes can close, and we might have to divert and stuff like that, and especially in Iceland where the weather is something.
But then that's where I think like if you do pack thinking of that, then you're good. Like I wore like nude like leggings underneath my dress. I had really good socks.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think it's like if the Swedes say there's no bad weather, there's just bad gear.
Yes.
I know wedding dresses aren't necessarily the best gear, but if you make like your own accommodations to the best of your ability and like work with it, then I think it was perfect. As I said, I didn't even think about that I was wearing a wedding dress at one point. I just was hiking.
Yeah. And for me, I specifically bought a blazer that was wool for the winter. So that worked out. But again, the pants, too tight. We'll do it again. We'll not do it again. I think you covered the basis of everything.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's on the fence about eloping?
Do it. I would say if what's holding you back, if you really take time to think about it and go, what's holding me back is other people. Because I think that likely that's my assumption being is that a lot of people don't, because it's like, but my friends won't be there, and my mom or my grandma or my aunt or the people who are meaningful in your life aren't going to be physically present. And although that might be really meaningful, but like really introspect about what does that mean to you? Because ultimately all of our loved ones still love us. They are thrilled for us. They loved our pictures.
There were a lot of people that even saw when we got our photos back. They were like, wow, we wish we did that.
Yeah.
So
I would say like really thinking like, if what's stopping you is other people, don't let that be it. And mostly because the right people will support you. And if people were really just upset that you didn't have like an open bar party that they could come to, which, I understand that's a valid perspective. It's just getting married and choosing to have a life with another human being, in my opinion, is a really active, intentional choice all the time when there's a lot of noise from the outside world, which will always be. It's always coming back to that active and intentional choice of the us. And if it's like what you guys want to do, then I'm like, you won't regret it. And if people try to make you feel guilty for choosing that, that's more of a them thing, maybe, in my opinion, though. But I would say choose it, and I would choose it 100 times over. I would never, I have zero regrets in any capacity.
Also, you have to remember that people always project their own fears on you. So that's kind of when people say, don't do it. Just like for everything, for eloping, to start a business, to have, get a dog. I don't know. They always, oh my gosh, aren't you worried? Blah, blah, blah. And no.
And life works out anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Life has a way of working out, and sometimes the things that feel hard to do is because you're choosing the right path. Yeah. And maybe because it's a different path than others. Right. So the path less traveled.
And so how did it feel to come home afterwards? Did anything shift, like in how you saw your relationship or your marriage?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, obviously being married is like a significant thing to me, I think. Obviously that's why we got married. We chose to do that.
I think we were just looking forward to like the next chapter of life, like what was to come. Because now everything was, I don't know how to explain it. Like everything was joint now. Like we were one when we came home now. So
there's an us. There's a choice, and always choosing. You are still you. You are still an individual, but it's like an active day of actively choosing all the time to co-create life with another human. I think sometimes, like, I think about being married, and of course I know like we're still under a year, and that's not a long time, and so life will have lots more. But I think of Iceland being a metaphor for our relationship, that like mountains took years to erode, and yet they're just as beautiful, and they look different, and the seasons change, and all of it has like good parts to it. And sometimes roadways get swept away in the mix of it all. But Iceland in and of itself, I think even the second time we went back, I think there's a lot of metaphor for like the culture of Icelanders and Icelandic culture and the landscape, and how that kind of gets married together in that like resiliency and like beauty and ruggedness. And I often think of our relationship in that way. And I know everybody says the cheesy thing, fire and ice, but I actually think of it as like more than that. I think of it like the way like waterfalls exist and you have to build around it, but yet it's also the most important resource. And I think of our relationship, I think of thinking in the abstract way, our relationship is the Iceland we are creating.
Wow. You keep blowing my mind. Do you ever think about like writing a book?
Maybe one day, who knows? Maybe when I move to Iceland and live in a little cabin, I'll write.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, yeah, the way you talk is really beautiful. The way you talk about like everything and you reflect on things is super inspiring. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
So I mean, that's a more like down to earth question, but did you do a post elopement celebration, or do you plan on doing one in the future?
No.
It's funny because I think we were still nervous, I guess, about what people were going to say about us eloping. So you had like gone through a spiral of like, well, what could we do? What could we book for this and that and whatever. But turns out we came home and we were just like, nope.
Yeah. So I think to give some like legs to that, or like some like history to it, is that like, you know, just as you said, like for folks that are on the fence, like there were some people in our life who were like sad that they were going to be missing something. And so then I started down this path of like trying to think and plan, and what would the cost look like, and where would we do it, and what would make everybody, because like our families are from kind of a lot of different parts of Canada and all over kind of where we live, and you know, thinking of all of that, And then I was just like, what's the point? I'm kind of turning myself into knots for other people, when really celebrating our love, you can celebrate our love when we come and get a coffee at your house, or you can celebrate that we're now married when we get together and have dinner next. And I think also in that for me was like, I had a lot of loss last year, and a lot of loss like just before we got married. And so some people just weren't going to be there. They physically were no longer here. So it was like,
yeah. And then on my side of things, there was a disconnection with my own parents. I won't go too much into that, but like that kind of was already decided for me. Like, well, that's not going to happen. So yeah. So like, even it wouldn't have been fair to either of us if one of us wanted to decide, well, let's do it, but then the other person couldn't, you know.
And life is the celebration. So that's my thought. Like we had Thanksgiving as Canadians, like just after when we got back anyway. So I was like, you know what? Like people will see us there, and we can talk about it there, and it's just what it is. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so before we wrap up, I have like a more like fun rapid fire round of questions. So just one word to describe your elopement.
Oh my gosh. Epic.
Epic would probably be the one.
Yeah.
Okay. A favorite meal during the trip?
Auto.
That one's hard.
Auto, I think for me.
Auto has a special place in my heart, but I'm such a foodie. I liked the Michelin star restaurant that we went to.
Oh, Moss
Hotel, or yeah, that was incredible.
Okay. The best photo moment.
Oh man, these are hard. There's a part of me that wants to say ceremony.
Yeah.
But I also think the tree.
That was a magical day. Yeah.
That was.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember you specifically saying you wish we could see what you were seeing.
Yeah.
And then we didn't know until we saw the photo after, and we're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. That would be the one.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Yeah, like I keep telling my couples, there are no trees in Iceland. So there are a few trees, obviously. You have like in Ingolstadt, you have like the big forest and stuff like that. You have some small forests from time to time, but that's it. But that tree was not like an evergreen tree. It was not a pine tree. It was a beautiful tree. That was like losing leaves at that point, and the sun was setting. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Okay, a song that makes you think of the day.
Well, we have this one song that we like, and it's
song or sound?
No, song.
Song.
Like Seosin, You're Not Alone.
Okay.
That's like something we picked before. I think of, it's like an Ed Sheeran song. I don't know what it's called, but it talks about like, I think the golden hour in it. I can't remember what it's called. I think of that one sometimes when I think about that golden hour at that tree.
Oh, yeah.
But Seosin like fits Stuxness. You're Not Alone.
I kind of want to go to the Walter Mitty one.
Oh, that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone's ever seen The Secret of Walter Mitty, you'll know the song that I'm talking about. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The red one. It's like, yeah.
That's what, I'll pick that one.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else you would like to share with couples who are considering eloping?
Just do it. Just do it.
As I said, I have no regrets. I think the other like maybe like practical thing, like if you're somebody who's like trying to like weigh like pros, cons, or like trying to work it out in your head in some way, and sometimes like we may discount our emotions or how we feel about things, and like even at like the minimum, you get to do like a honeymoon and a wedding in one. Like, I don't know, like that's super practical, and it's not the reason that like we picked it. It was just like one of the things that like helped other people understand why we chose what we chose to some degree. But I think at the end of the day, choosing to elope is kind of like a radical way of choosing your relationship, even when things will pull you or ask you to not. And I think that to me, that's a really helpful way and ground that we've actually started our relationship. It's not easy, but it is the ground that life will always ask you to be distracted, and yet tuning into like, what is it that you want that's sustaining for your relationship? For how do you want this next chapter to look? I think for us, choosing elopement was hard, and also the easiest thing when we took out that noise.
Amazing as always. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap up. So in the notes of the podcast and the YouTube, I'm gonna share the link to the photos of your elopement so people can understand a bit better the 3 hectic days that we spent together. Even though they won't see the 4 extra days that you guys had on your own, I think it's a great glimpse and a great window of what it looked like in general. And really, thank you so much again for sharing your elopement adventure with the world, because I think it's so important that some other couple hear it from like couples who actually eloped before, how it went and why it was the best choice for them. Because obviously eloping is not the right choice for everybody, but people who are listening to this podcast, I think, are asking themselves the right questions at the moment. So hearing it from you guys is gonna definitely help them. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome, and thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure. Have a magical day, and see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.